Welcome to Wedding Day Podcast with your host, Sonja Babich, CEO of Iron Diamond Media, a leading wedding resource featuring 7 localized wedding brands across the country.
Hi, everybody. Sonja here with Wedding Day Podcast. We're at the beautiful Grand Hyatt in downtown Seattle. My co-host today is Miss Alexis.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. We're hosting Tamara today from On the Wall Design Studio, and she's going to tell us about her business and her process. So we're so excited to have you.
Hi. So installations are such a thing right now.
Huge.
And they're making a very big statement from the entrance, the ceremony, the reception, the dance, the whole 9 yards. And just, and then all depends on the design, and you help the design come to life, especially with the installation. But you just started this journey back in
2021, July 2021, officially got my business license in 2022.
Yeah, you're I started, I didn't even have a business name yet.
You know how when you're doing side hustles, you kind of do things for friends and family. Yes, you get paid, but it's not like you're reporting all that money, right?
Right.
But then it just kind of blew up. And then by the time 2021 ended, I was like, ooh, I better make this official because
this is something.
Yeah, it's starting to be a lot.
Yeah, you're I'm getting paid and I need to have a business name.
Exactly. Insurance, a business license, a business name. You're right. I didn't even have a business name at that time. I mean, people were just emailing me my personal email still. Even my Instagram was still my personal Instagram. So I was like, ooh, time to make it official.
You're I'm not going back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people, I want it to look professional. So I better have a real business email and things like that.
Okay, so you gotta tell us the story how this all came about with your company.
Oh, sure. So, I have always been a crafty person. I'm always dabbling in something, sewing, knitting, I've done it all. I used to make beaded bracelets when I was a kid. I love doing crafts and working with my hands.
Things.
Just making things.
Yeah.
And so once I started to have kids, there was this big trend, on social media with having name signs, like the round name signs, 3D letters. And of course, instead of just buying one, I'll go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to make it myself, right? It's kind of like that joke where instead of spending $50, I'll spend $500 to make it myself. So I did research and looked into how people were making these name signs. I didn't really know anything about large woodworking equipment. My husband's a carpenter, so I did have some tools.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no pun.
Yes. And then I was like, well, how did they get these detailed letters? And then I realized a lot of the artists were using a scroll saw. So I bought myself a scroll saw, which is a little tiny saw that goes up and down.
Oh, yeah.
And you literally just print out the letters that you want, put it on the wood, glue it on the wood, and push it into this saw, cutting it, all these little tiny letters.
Is it called a jigsaw?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's similar to jigsaw, but a little bit different.
Okay.
But I just started making name signs. I made some for my kids, and then of course, friends and family started to ask. And then businesses started to ask for me to make their business logo. And so I started doing that in home decor. And one of my friends who actually did my makeup today, Eileen from Lux Studios, I made her business sign when she opened up her studio. And so I went to her grand opening, I did her logo, and then I met an event planner there. And I got introduced, as making these signs, and I've done backdrops and stuff like that. And she just asked me, oh, would I make her a backdrop, but instead of buying it, can I rent it? I was like, sure, you can rent it from me. And she's like, well, can you come and set it up too at the location? I was like, oh, sure, I can do that too. Because, I've done it for friends and family.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it just took off from there. She just shared it on her Instagram. I met a good friend of mine, Jamie from Confetti Balloons there. And her and I are still really good friends now. And it just took off because I guess there wasn't that many people in the area doing it. I didn't know that much about it,
No, which makes you so green and organic that you fell into this.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, people that I didn't even know, are contacting me, asking me to do these custom backdrops. And the first wedding I did was that same year in July, and it did not go smooth.
bet you got it
There was a
done.
learning curve. There was a learning
It was
curve.
a huge learning
Yeah.
curve. It was like my first seating chart, large scale seating chart. I've never even worked with vinyl before, but I'm kind of one of those people that kind of have like, oh, I can figure it out
Yeah.
type of
Can do.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I did figure it out. It was just way more difficult than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, we were working until the bride was walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
My sister and I, we hid underneath a staircase as the bride was walking down the
That must have
aisle.
been stressful.
It was stressful.
Yeah.
And then we finished the seating chart. I'm not going to say it was the most amazing seating chart there was. I learned a lot. I wanted to give up. I'm like, this is not for me. I'm not going to do anymore. But obviously I didn't give up.
Yeah. And now they are amazing.
Yes.
Like that's in every career. Like it's called onboarding, and you know, it's like 1 or 2 years. You're still a newbie in the company, and when you're the owner, it's like
The learning curve. You got trial and error and hiccups and
I mean, to this day, I'm learning something new every day. I'm figuring out a better method. I'm, researching better tools. Trying to be more efficient, looking into systems. I mean, it's...
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just showed us a rendering a few minutes ago of a seating chart you're working on for this weekend. I'm sure you didn't do that in the beginning,
gorgeous.
right?
Yes. Well, in the beginning, I did actually, because that event planner was like, "Oh, can I see a rendering?" And I said, "What's a rendering?"
Like
You're all, possibly.
I'm like, "What's a rendering?" And she was like, "Oh, it's kind of like a design proof, so we can see what it looks like." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I dabbled in Adobe Illustrator way back in high school.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know what, programs to use. I don't think Canva was even a thing.
no.
Yeah.
And I think I just went ahead and bought the subscription to Adobe, and I was like, okay, I'll use this, and I still use it.
Yeah.
And it's just skills that I've learned on my own. YouTube,
love that.
look it up. Exactly.
Self-taught.
And I tell people I know enough to make it through. I'm not a trained graphic designer, but I try to up my skills every single time. I would love to offer fully 3D renderings one of these days. Maybe AI can help me with that. I have to look into that.
Yeah. And that's hard to add, right? When you're in the middle of doing all the work still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to find time to just education. You know? It should be on the priority list, but it's very hard to find the time for
Okay, so let's break down from the initial you're gonna help me with a project on my wedding day, an installation, and the whole process of quoting, because a custom installation is from the ground up, literally, from every material. How do you start that process with couples when they present their Pinterest vision?
Yes, sure. So normally they send me, either them or the event designer or the planner sends me inspiration. It could be a mood board, it can be a whole PDF packet, and it's just the colors, the florals, the dresses. Sometimes they'll have examples of some of the installations they want, sometimes it doesn't. They'll tell me, oh, we want something interactive, we want guests to come up, or we love your champagne walls.
Right.
Our installations normally have a dual purpose, it being a welcome sign or a seating chart at the same time. And so I'll ask them questions like, do you, how many guests are you expecting? Just so I am aware of how large the installation needs to be.
Right.
Because sometimes you need a larger installation for 300 plus guests than you do for 100 guests. So I just kind of ask them general questions, and then I go from there. So a quote for me can sometimes take a couple hours, just because they'll ask for pieces that I, for one, don't have in my inventory, never built before. And so I have to do a lot of research on, how do I build this item? What's the best materials to use for this item? What is the most efficient way to make it? Because I think installation vendors have to think differently, because we have to always keep logistics in mind as well.
Transportation and all of that kind of stuff.
That's all in a wedding day is logistics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, all logistics. And I never thought that would be something I have on the top of my head all the time. But it's like, is it going to fit in a van? Is it going to fit in their doorway?
Right.
Do we have to build it in pieces? How heavy
Isn't it the worst when you buy a couch and it doesn't get in the doorway?
Oh, like Friends?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I have to break it to the couple or the planner and let them know that the piece that they want
Is not possible.
is not possible
Right.
based on their venue too. The vendors or the venue sometimes is very important too. Is there a loading dock? Can we fit through the doorway?
Right.
Is there a back entrance to where they want it?
Right.
And this is all from, just me learning over time. You know, one example was we did a birthday party at a restaurant. They had a private room, but there was no private entrance. And when we set up, everything was fine because the restaurant wasn't open yet. There was no guests in the dining room. So I didn't think about it, right? We just walked through, set it up. We came back a few hours later to tear down. Well, they're open for lunch service now. And the dining room is full of people. And these are like 8-foot walls, right?
Yeah.
They're not light, they're heavy.
Right.
The pathway between tables was very narrow and it was impossible. We weren't going to be able to get it out. So I told the venue, I was like, look, we have to leave this here
Until we can pick it up.
do you
tomorrow.
have do you have another event? If so, can we put it behind something? Can we hide it? And that's what they had to do
Right.
Yeah,
because we couldn't get it out of there.
right.
And so that's one of the questions I ask now. Like,
Right.
if it's a restaurant, I ask them, is there a private entrance? Is there a private room? Do we come back after they're closed to tear down?
That's why everybody needs a planner, right? Because couples should not worry about all this.
Yeah, they don't think about
And they don't
that,
think of those
too.
questions to ask.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's so true.
Yeah.
They're just thinking about, like, is it going to be ready in time?
Right.
Is my party going to go well?
Or the photos are going to
Right.
look amazing.
Right. That's
you
it.
know, what
That's
they
the
care
extent
about.
of it. Yeah.
Is a photographer going to make sure they take the right photo of the installation so I can post it?
And also like dimensions, like not asking how large the space is was also a mistake I made in the beginning. 'Cause
Right.
I would show up and I'm like, oh, this is a very tiny space and you're trying to set up a 12 feet of wall.
Right.
Like I should have asked how big your space is. I think a lot of people have a hard time visualizing, feet and inches, even if you tell them, even if
Right.
you provide a rendering, and even if you say this rendering is to scale. We show up and it's always a pretty common comment of, this is
this
a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So, I try to ask those type of questions,
Right.
ceiling heights too. We actually delivered a champagne wall to a hotel. Hotels usually have high ceilings. 8 feet wall, which is a standard ceiling height for like a home.
Yeah.
Didn't fit. It was a floor that had shorter ceilings. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So we could not.
That's so crazy.
Yes, so we had to pivot.
Oh my gosh.
And we set up the champagne wall in the elevator.
Oh.
Because it was a private event,
Oh,
so
there
they
you
were
go.
using a private
That's
elevator.
clever. Like, that's such an experience.
Right.
Yes. So as soon as guests walked into the elevator, they were greeted with a champagne.
It just shows like
Yeah.
you just have to be ready for curveballs, and there might be curveballs that you don't know, and then you're gonna get to your wedding day and be like, well,
And the
it's in-
guests never knew anyways.
No, they didn't know.
No.
We were talking about that earlier too. Like, nobody knows about the behind the scenes hiccups
Yes.
that happen.
I feel like the event industry is all about pivots.
Yeah.
And all about
And
figuring
working
it out.
together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Troubleshooting, figuring it out.
Yeah, and then just being like, how can I help if something doesn't go right?
Yeah. Making it work and yeah.
So with all this, there's one thing that you've just kind of, I would say, has come to light more of just being a working mom,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And having 3 littles or 3. I don't know if they're little.
Yeah.
Mine are little.
They're not too little anymore, but
But just to realize of the wedding industry, of like the give back that we give to help make a wedding day come true, but you're also away from your home,
Away from your family,
away
yeah.
from your family.
Yeah.
And it kind of hit you recently, right?
it did. Well, it's hard because I come from the corporate world. So I've always been like a working mom, but it's different,
Yeah.
Like you have your weekends when you have a quote unquote regular job, you can leave the work at work.
Yeah.
Running your own business is like 24/7.
Yeah.
You never
It's
stop.
like another baby.
Exactly. And now that my kids are a little bit older, my oldest is 13, She's going to be going into high school next year. I just realized I don't have that many summers left, you know?
I have 3 high schoolers right now. My oldest is a senior. So yeah, all the feels right now.
Yeah, it's a reality. Like time doesn't stop, you know,
No.
time just keeps
It goes
on moving
faster.
on. It does. It goes faster. And, you know, I feel so fulfilled with this business. You know, it really fulfills my creative side, but it's been getting more difficult devoting all this, like the weekends, the whole summer. Cause you know, wedding season in Seattle is so short and condensed.
Yeah.
And beautiful.
Yes, it's beautiful, but it's literally, it happens all in 2 months almost.
Yeah.
You know? You get a few here in June and few in September and maybe October, but it all happens in July and August.
Right.
And that's when kids are off
Home,
on
yeah.
summer break. And so I feel so bad I don't get to spend so much time with them. You know, I'm always gone on the weekends, but on the weekdays I'm always working too. So I'm starting to get that guilt, you know, like I think every mom has that, like mom guilt.
The mom guilt,
And I think you're just wanting to be more of just the awareness of what we're doing for Wedding Dreams, but also the reality of what's behind the scenes with some of
trying to
these
find the
working
balance.
moms.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if balance exists. I don't know.
Oh, you know, it does. You know, and that could be a whole nother podcast. But, you know, as you grow, you got to build your team. And you have the right team members, and you have to have the right support system at home.
Yes.
And I give a true testament of that.
Yeah.
So if you follow your dreams, you have to also bend and find that balance and make sure that you're taking care of yourself too.
Yeah. And I think I'm still trying to get there, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think the balance probably changes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, the balance, and it's probably like a moving, I shouldn't say probably, it's a moving goalpost. You're like, okay, I found some balance in this day, and maybe not in tomorrow.
Yes.
Or like in this week, or, you know, it's like that for me anyways. I find like, you know, sometimes I'm like, okay, I have to do this thing at this time, but then I'm going to come back to this other part later in the day. And so you find it throughout.
And you're not alone.
Yeah.
And I think our listeners just understand that a lot of our wedding professionals, this is their life, right? We're entrepreneurs, we're 24/7. But this is why it's such a great community, because we all can have each other's back.
I love that about the wedding industry.
I definitely view like my frienders that I've met over the years as like coworkers.
Yeah,
you know,
they are.
It's so fun when you see the same vendors over and over again at events, and sometimes I know they'll be there, sometimes I don't. So it's always a pleasant surprise, like, oh hey, how's it going? You know, catch up very quickly, but we're also trying to like
do your work,
do
your things,
I actually looked at my couples as my team members.
Oh,
a lot of times, because I would be so excited to see them and make their wedding day perfect. And you're working with them so much on the way up, you know, within a year or a year and a half with them. So like you build this relationship as a team to make their day perfect.
Yeah.
So I look at that way too. Because your wedding pros that come in like to a venue, they always are ever changing. But you also want to we talk about being kind and nice, because you're not with your family, you're not going to the birthday parties, you're not going to the date nights.
Yeah.
And so you have to have these moments of like having fun together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I love it when I can actually like hang out with my friends that are vendors outside too, which I've done a couple times, because you need that support.
Yeah.
You know,
and when they understand what you're going through
too.
It's a very unique industry from that perspective, I feel like.
It is. I mean, I've definitely, you know, I did not know anything about the events industry when I first started. Does anyone ever know anything about the events industry?
Or in any career.
Yes,
like they go in and
that's
then
true.
they get surprises and they learn to see if it's for them or not.
Yeah, you know, it's, you know, I always compare it to like this corporate world, you know, like it's so predictable in the corporate world, and the events industry is like not predictable, which makes it fun.
It makes it fun,
Because
keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it's not the
and
same thing over and over.
you're
again.
always learning
and
and meeting new people.
Yeah, it is.
It's an emotional day. And it's a very personalized business, because it's a personal day for your client. It's an emotional day because it's a daughter, a son.
And it's personal for you guys too, because you are giving up your weekend.
Oh, yes.
You are
And-
like...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I hope couples know that I like literally put my heart and soul into what I create for them. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, it's not something that we just buy off the shelf. We're creating something just for them. You know? it could be the paint, it could be, you know, their monogram, it could be their custom text. I mean, like, it's literally just for them. And I hope that they see that and they understand that, and the hours and hours that go into creating something for them behind the scenes, right? That's not, you know, no one sees that. Everyone just sees the
And I think it's a very bougie business that's Jennifer Lopez. No, it's a dirty job. You're lifting chairs, you're cleaning plates, you're doing all the things.
Yeah, so, I'm not cute on wedding day installations, you know, like I'm down and dirty. Like I'm in the grass, I'm on the ground.
So let's, what has been your most challenging and the most rewarding project that you've ever done?
Oh man. I almost want to say all of them, because everything feels so great when you're done with it. Like I go through my times where I have so many events in one weekend and so much to do that I think is impossible.
Right. And then you conquer it.
And then it's done. And you're like, oh, I did it. You know, it's like sometimes it feels anticlimactic because you kind of have to just move on to the next event right away. But when you go back and think about it, you realize how much you like accomplished. It's hard, I think, in any business owner to like really sit and take the time to think about that. But with every event I do, I do always learn something. I do always say, oh, I'll do it that way next time too, because that was, I made it quicker, it worked. So there's always some sense of accomplishment with every event, because you brought the couple's vision to life.
Well, yours is an art piece.
Yeah, thank you.
It is.
Thanks.
It is. It's a lot of love, patience.
Yes.
Yeah, and you get to see the end product come to life. So it's so pretty.
And I really hope the couple feels that way too. You know, sometimes with like the installations and signage, you know, a lot of people call it signage or installations. You know, it's kind of like one and the same almost. There's signage on the installations, and it's giving guests directions or giving them a better interactive experience. Sometimes it's an afterthought. You know, sometimes
signage is a huge thing. Because it helps communicate and how to make your event successful.
Exactly. And it's the small details that kind of bring everything together.
100%.
But because sometimes it's an afterthought, we don't get contacted until very late. And then sometimes that doesn't give us enough time to create
all the things
that you want. You know, of course, we still trying to make it happen, but we might have to make adjustments due to like, do we have the capacity?
Time
do we have the time?
Yeah. All right. Well, last question. Okay. So what has been your favorite moment about, you know, you don't have a favorite project, but like, what's your like most rewarding like moment? Like, this was what I was meant to do. Because like it kind of fell into your lap, you know, like how did you realize like this is what I'm meant to do? Because you're so good at it.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I try to be the best I can, and I'm always trying to improve. My proudest moments, let's see. I guess I'm proud when other vendors ask me to do their personal events.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that must feel really good.
Yes, the best gift and respect.
Because they recognize how much work I put into it. They recognize the quality.
Right.
And so when they ask me to do their personal events, maybe their wedding or their kids' birthdays, or even their shows, you know, like some marketing events for them, I feel so honored, you know, because they're fellow vendors and I want to provide the best for them as well.
Yeah. That's perfect.
That is awesome. Yeah, that is perfect. Well, thank you so much for being with us on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
All right, we'll see you next time on Wedding Day Podcast. See you. Bye.
Bye.